We have 3 leader cloths. Take up, the backing and the quilt top. We are about to put the cloth on our rods, but first of all we must use our sticky tape out of our goodies bag, our screws. We also need a Phillips head screwdriver, a pencil and a tape measure. You take your take-up cloth, because that's what we're using now. Take up, take up, take up. We'll find the centre of the take-up cloth and mark it as well. Now we'll lay our cloth down on our table. Each rod is basically done the same way, but follow the markings on your rods. Bring that into the centre, and as you can see, take up goes one way. Place your rod with the mark to the centre of the cloth. We then take our sticky tape, and I'll use a dispenser because it's easier for me, and I just break some pieces off along the rod so that I can just grab them as I need them and put it where the centre is. Then we'll go along, don't stretch your cloth, and take it right down to the end. So that's holding it there for me. And I know this is the way our cloth has to go, because on the take up it indicates this is the way we're going to roll our cloth. Place it so. And if you're unsure of the straightness of your cloth, just run a pencil along the rod to keep it straight. But usually you can just eyeball it. Turn back your section so. If you're going to do a 2 metre rod, this is the way we set our cloth. And just put a piece of sticky tape like so, and do the same on the other end. Like so. Now, if we wanted to make it a 3 metre rod, we would slip our extensions in, and using our screws and our Phillips head screwdriver, you'll find a leader hole there, and we can just put the screw in and screw it down. Like so. Pop it into this section here, and you'll still notice we're going in the right direction. We then line up our little holes here for our screw. They might be slightly out, but don't worry about it too much. Just screw them down, and do the same down the other end also. Now we've got a 3 metre rod. We release that extra piece of fabric, we turn it back, and just take our rod down, and we find it much easier to put the cloth on this section here, rather than trying to take it right along the first go. So that's where our cloth will go now, like so, and we would stick it down the same way we did before. And just wind it up, and you can see where the arrow says wind clockwise, that's the way you wind it. Make sure it is straight at both ends, you haven't got any creases. If your cloth is really badly creased, I suggest you iron them prior to putting them on. There we go. Roll up your rods. You've now got them set for a 2 metre rod. So you've got one little job to do. We take a safety pin. Right, we have now finished our rods. As you can see, take up to take up, backing to backing, quilt top to quilt top. Arrows are going that way, so it's anti. We place our safety pin in, and you can see the difference there, at least a ½ inch. You can see I'm putting the pin parallel to the cloth, clockwise. This one is going clockwise. You have 3 ratchets at this end and only 2 ratchets at this end. So you're not missing one. The quilt top only has 1 ratchet. We are ready to put our tabletop together. I am doing a 2 metre tabletop. Sections together like so. Now if we wanted to make it into a 3 metre, all we have to do is pull that apart and place the 3rd one in the centre. Take our nuts and bolts and take the longer bolts. Then we take our goal posts. We have 2 goal posts for each end, making a total of 4. The shorter screws, the bolts I should say, 2 at each end, and 2 nuts to go with them. We will need our spanner to this one. I like to put these on whilst the table is still upside down. Place it through the hole and just tighten it off. Same with the other one. Your goal posts to hold your end assemblages or your rod carriers, whichever you like to call them. Tighten those up. We'll go down to the other end and do exactly the same thing. We will flip the table over. This is my front, and you can see my goalpost here. Now what we'll do is actually put our rails on, or sleeves. These sleeves cover the area here. As you can see, there's a join there. Now if we left it like that, we're going to have a problem when we have our carriage run over the top of it. Taking a sleeve, we will place it on this rail and push down until we go right down to the end. Don't run your hand along it because it really does burn. Some friction builds up and it can be quite painful. Now you see there, that's one. And like I said, once you put these rails on, there is no way this table is going to come undone. Because you've got 2 bolts holding it together, you've got your little guides to hold it together, and you've also got your sleeve to hold it together. You'll notice that I've got excess sleeve left over. Now remember, this is to cover a 3 metre table. So therefore we have this excess here. And what I like to do is just place it under the table and use the little plastic strips to slip them on. if you haven't got those, just put a little bit of tape on it, just like that, just to hold it. We want them out of the way so children will not poke their eyes out on it, or the animals or whatever you've got running around the floor. We are now going to put the end assemblages on, or rod carriers. We take the right hand side, has the names of the rods that are going to go in that area. It also has the clappers. Take the hand wheel, place it through the slot in your goal post, then just tighten it off. Don't have to tighten it too much at this point. Taking our back piece, which is the take-up rod, we will then place that one on the other goal post. This is the back. And this is the front. We will go down to the other end and take our other rod carrier or end assemblage and put the hand wheel through, clipping our end assemblage over. Seem to be having a problem with this one. There you go. Right. You'll notice that there is Velcro on the back side of the end assemblage. And I've placed the Velcro down the bottom. It used to be up the top, but now we've placed it down the bottom because of the way we use our clamps. Now we'll take our trolley and place it onto our table and slide it backwards and forwards to make sure that it is rolling correctly. I'll take one of my clamps place it down here because we'll need that in preparation of putting our sewing machine on. You'll see why when we get there. And place the other one here. We take our carriage. Now we can place our stylus on now. Anywhere you're comfortable with it. I like it on the right hand side of the trolley, on the back side of it. So I place my stylus on, put that through, it's our pointer. Just bring that up so it's out of the way. Be careful you don't stick yourself on it. I'm going to place some plastic onto my tabletop because I'm going to do a pentagram. I've got two pieces of plastic, clear plastic, and I'll place that like so, and just take a bit of sticky tape and stick it down. Right, the back of the trolley overhangs the back of the frame. The sewing machine. We take our sewing machine. I have here a Janome 1600p, but you can use any sewing machine at all. It does not matter what type of machine you have. The throat area on this particular machine is 9 inches. On my Benina it's 7 inches. We take our foot control and place it under the lever first. Now, if it was a smaller foot control, like this one, I would need to build it up, and I would suggest that you use a bit of styrene from the packing. You just place it underneath and just activate the pedal